Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy LS3, and I wanted to talk about programming certifications, right? Are programming certifications worth? And in my experience, in my perspective, my opinion is that programming certifications they're just not they're not worth it. So I'm see, I think these certifications, I think they're well intentioned. However, programming is not necessarily something a certification can prove proficiency in. So I see this site pythoninstitute.org, and they have a certified associate Python programmer. And to think about it, a lot of this information like this probably can be found, online for free. It is a okay. So the exam is $295. Practice test $50. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend programming certifications because when you go into a interview, they're not. I've in my career, nobody's ever asked me for any Python certification, Java, C Sharp, C++, JavaScript, TypeScript, nothing. C++. I've never been asked that question on whether I should have or on if I have a programming certification because programming is a skill, right? You have to look at it as a skill. It's almost like see, I played basketball growing up. It's like shooting a jump shot, dribbling a basketball. It's not a certification for that. It's can you dribble a basketball? Can you shoot threes? Can you rebound? Things like that, right? Can it's not like a driving license. It's not like you take a test and can you turn left, turn right. You see, it's not really like that. When you go into an interview they're gonna ask you questions like, here's an object, here's a class. Can you access that class, right? That's kind of what more it'll be like.
Yeah, and just to give like a more, this is a very very simple class in Python I wanted to show, but just things like this, right? This is kind of what more people are gonna ask. Is like, can you create a class? Is variables inside the class, and you just kind of like create. Can you access this five in the? Can Are you able to access the five inside of the object? And you write out the variable. Answer you it's an integer obviously, and then you access it through the dot function, and that's how you do it. I mean, this is very, like I said, it's a very simple example, but this is what people want to know. Can you create a class? Can you access classes? Can you create? Can you build? Can you solve problems with programming? A certification does not necessarily do that for you. It's just not what it is. So I don't recommend programming certifications at all. What you need to do, you need to find problems and solve them with code. That's what you need to do. That is the secret sauce to becoming a better programmer. That is it. It's not about watching a bunch of tutorials and videos, not about getting certifications. You need to have a problem and you need to solve it with code. And the more you do that, the more you become resourceful, the more you search on the internet and you find answers and you solve problems with code. That is it. That is how you do it. It's not easy, but it's simple, right? It's not as hard as people make it seem. It's not impossible, right? Not by all means, it's not impossible. You can do it too. It's just you have to become a problem solver and you have to do it with code. Certifications are not necessarily when it comes to program. I'm not against certifications because I know there are a lot of certifications like AWS, CompTIA certs that are good and are industry standard, and you do need them to get certain roles and certain jobs. However, that is not the case with programming. Programming is something that it is a skill. It's something that is going to help you no matter what role you are in. It's going to change your mindset. It's going to allow you to become a better problem solver, and it's just how we go through life anyway. So, like I said, and when you go into these interviews for programming, software, whatever the role is centered around software engineering and programming. They're not gonna. I have never. I've been through a bunch of interviews at different roles. Nobody has ever asked anything about a programming certification. If anything, to be quite honest, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to be a bad dude and like say this, but I've actually seen people kind of like laugh at like programming certifications. And I don't want you to get laughed at. Programming certifications, they have very little weight. I've never been asked about a program certificate. I don't know anybody in the field who's been asked. If anything, the closest thing to a certification is probably a degree. And like a degree would do you a lot. I mean, to be honest, I mean, obviously it's more expensive, more time. Obviously, yes, but I've never seen it. I just do not. I do not recommend program certificates. I do not think they're worth it. I do not think they're worth the time and the money at all. Yeah, so this is what I actually recommend people to do. You actually really should look into this website right here. It's called Code Wars. This is what I used in order to become a way better programmer. Like this actually skyrocketed my competency, me writing code, me reading code. Because so how this works, like they'll give you a problem to solve with coding, right? So they'll give you different program language like JavaScript, Python, a myriad of different languages, even Rust, and some of these problems, and they'll give you a problem to solve. Like I can't really see this, like reverse strings in JavaScript. And the cool thing about it too is that once you see right here in this section, if you don't really understand it and you can just ask for the answers, you'll see other people who solve the problem. You can actually learn from that as well. Like you probably went through it. I say if you get one of these problems, give yourself about 30, 40 minutes. Sometimes it's kind of like going to the gym. It's like, you don't want to like overexert yourself and stretch yourself out. And it's like you're researching, you're like, man, I just can't get it. Just go ahead and look at the answers. It's cool. Yeah, looking at the answers is cool, right? Like it's learning is way more enjoyable this way. Like you just look at the answers and you read like, oh, he did that. Oh, that's what I should have did. Okay. And then you're gonna remember it now. You're like, oh, I didn't even know I could do that. And it's a perfect, symbiosis. So like I said, get new perspectives, solve challenges, then view how others solved it. Like I just said, learn new languages, right? You learn new languages. I have, if you look at my profile, I have solved a bunch. I'm almost at level 4. I'm almost at the blue. This what I'm gonna try to get to by the end of the year. This right here. As I'm helping you guys out with learning programming, give you guys content. I do want to get this to blue. So it says right here, I've JavaScript. I'm a 6 Caillou. I'm almost at 5, so I probably just need to work on some more JavaScript. Python. I'm at a 7. Ruby, 8 Swift. This is all. Yeah, and my overall rank is 5, 8%. So I need to get to 4. I really got to get on this. But like I said, I've been working. Haven't really like when I was doing it. I was learning in the game when I first started learning how to program. I was on this heavy. I mean, it says how many have I completed? Let's see, I've completed 240. So man, look, this is how you get it, man. This is like going to the gym, like the dojo. This is how you do it, man. It's not gonna be through certifications and stuff like that, man. You're gonna have to learn how to write code, read code, and solve problems with code. This is my recommendation. Like I said, I'm say it one more time before I end this video, man. I just do not recommend buying and wasting the time on programming certifications because nobody's going to ask you for them. And it doesn't even really show that you really know how to program. Things like with solving problems is how you're going to show proficiency and that you can actually program. So that's it for this video. It's your boy LS3. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll also have in the description box below if you like this video, you want some more tips. Sign up for my newsletters in the description box. And we'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.